Hello friends, welcome back to my channel and to another Plan With Me video. This week we are memory planning the week that was October 28th through to November 3rd, and we are using this beautiful kit from Plannerface, which is from many years ago. Maybe not many years ago, but I feel like it was at least 2 years ago, probably more. I do pair this kit with a little mix of foils, so I'm using a Lina Designs foil bundle. Actually, no, I think it's all Lina Designs. So I think one of them was like a pumpkin pack, and then I had some leftover cobwebs from cobweb underlays from a previous foil kit. So I decided to cut those up and use those as headers as well. I also actually used themed like date dot numbers this week, which was fun. And I really love how this spread turned out. Again, you guys will see that I've tried something a little bit different. I've used the full bottom washi again in this spread, but I've also used the thin sliver of washi that comes with the Plannerface kits, which I feel like I've used it before, but it was probably a very long time ago. So again, it was really nice to do something different. What else? I haven't put foil overlays on the full boxes in this kit. Don't know if I'm going to, because I feel like whenever I use a themed foiled bundle, when I do the underlays, the header overlays, all of that, I feel like it can be a little bit too much. And I think that there's a lot of elements to this kit already. Like there's lots of different clip art in each of the boxes. So I don't know that I want to then layer that busyness with more busyness. We'll see what happens. But for now, as of finishing this spread, it definitely doesn't have any foil overlays on the full boxes. But let me know your thoughts on the end about how you feel about the spread and whether or not you think it needs the overlays. I think that's all of the housekeeping things. Again, really love this kit. Like I said, it is an older kit. I remember when it first came out and I was like, I absolutely have to have that. Like, again, we don't celebrate Halloween in Australia, but I like to use Halloween spreads because I just think they're fun. I didn't film the week before this one. It was one of those, I decided that I needed to play with stickers the week before. So I did that spread off camera, and that's also a very fun Halloween pink, orange, black kit, which I really love. You guys will see that in the planner flip through that I'm hoping to do soon. I am actually just waiting on some rebranding because I thought, it was about time that we changed up, some of the visuals for this channel. It's been a little while that it's been the same, and I can't speak. I generally like to change, even just the cover photos that I do each year. Obviously, you guys will see that I don't even have any cover pictures on my YouTube videos at the moment. I do plan to go back and give them all one just so that there's consistency and it looks a little bit neater. But I've just been trying to focus on getting these spreads out and getting the uploads up for you guys, especially when we're about to hit September and I'm not even in 2025 content yet. So we're a very long way behind, but I'm confident we can catch up quite quickly. With that said, let's go ahead and actually get into the plans because, we're going to run out of time. We always do. So the sidebar is very stock standard this week. We've got the 3 full boxes. We have a section for the highlight of the week. And then we will move into the plans for the week. So Monday, I have marked work. I always love when I do festive or holiday spreads because I can tap into my festive or holiday characters. This was no exception. I have some beautiful little fox and cactus stickers with the little bats on them, and I thought it worked perfectly for this spread, both with the color, the bats. So of course I was going to use those to mark work this week. So Monday we had work. I then marked that I had a super ugly work day, which essentially just translates to Monday was garbage. This day I had to call my health insurer because my dentist had told me that I needed to get a crown, and I wanted to find out what, if anything, would be covered by my health insurance or if it was covered as part of my dental. And the person I spoke to was absolutely no help. I'm pretty sure they didn't cover anything off memory when I thought they would. I think that all of my dental covered was I think I get the 2 free checks and cleans each year, and then I get up to $800 of dental work, but that doesn't include like certain types of dental work. I think it includes like fillings and that sort of basic stuff, but when you start looking at like crowns and root canal and that sort of thing, it's not covered. So they were absolutely no help. I then marked that my brother's birthday present came this day. Don't remember what it was. Absolutely no idea, but it was delivered this day. After work, I marked that I colored in and listened to some ASMR. I don't know what it is. I've told you guys like so many times that ASMR is like my calming relaxation. Like it's what I do after work most days, sometimes even during work, depending on the type of work I'm doing on any given day. And to then just add coloring to the mix, it just completely distracts your brain. So I'm not thinking about anything else but what colors to put where, am I using patterns, and the sounds that are happening in the background. So very relaxing. This night I marked that we watched the Menendez brothers documentary. I don't remember what the full thing is called, but that's what we were watching. Very sad to see that they didn't get paroled, but you know, justice system. Anyway, and then the last thing that I marked that night was that I started baby aspirin, which is essentially just 100 milligrams of aspirin every night. What were we, October? Yep, so that was because we were due to do another transfer cycle, or were we in the middle of it? I think maybe, were we in the middle of it? I don't know, but we were planning to do a transfer in November, so I started aspirin ahead of that because they say that aspirin helps with blood flow, helps with pregnancy risks, that sort of thing. So I started aspirin for that cycle this night. Of course, my dog is featuring in the background, like always. All day, he's behaved, no barking, no noise. Sit down to do a voiceover. He wants to be heard. Apologies. Anywho, Tuesday. So again, we have work. I then marked that I called the IVF clinic to pay for our next cycle. They changed their rules. Like you used to be able to like pay it off. So we would pay in like 2 or 3 installments. But they changed their rules at this point in time, and you actually had to pay upfront. So for anyone who is curious, I think this particular cycle, we were lucky because we got some credits and some rebates and things like that. But up front, I think off memory, we had to pay just shy of $13,000. And that doesn't cover So transfer cycles, you're looking at, when we first started, the first ever transfer cycle we did was like 11,000 something. They have 2 price rises every year, keeping in mind we do go through a private clinic, so we pay more. But you do generally get just shy of half back from Medicare. But that doesn't include transfer costs. So when you do a transfer, your first transfer in a calendar year is free, and then every transfer thereafter is, depending on your protocol, is different. So for us, I think our first ever transfer cycle that we had to pay for was about $4,000. Again, you do get a chunk of that back from Medicare, but obviously when you're having to put that money up front, it's quite a lot. So this was our transfer cycle. It was our 3rd in a year. So we had to pay whatever the equivalent of, it was like $4,000, $5,000, something like that. Had to pay that up front. And if you guys ever have any questions about like IVF and costs and things like that, like drop it in the comments, shoot me a DM on Instagram. Like I'm happy to talk about it. I'm an open book in that regard. If I can help anyone, like that's so great. So don't be scared to ask questions. But yeah, then I marked that I had a coffee. I colored and listened to some ASMR again on this day. And then again that evening, we watched some more of the Menendez brothers documentary. Wednesday was a work in office day. I marked that I had a headache. When I got home, I took a nap. Then I marked that I chilled out with the boys or the doggos. We watched some more of the Menendez brothers documentary. And then, so this is when we started our transfer cycle. So I started injections for the transfer cycle that night. Thursday, of course, I had to use the Happy Halloween full box quote box. Normally, you guys know that I would use quote boxes in the top left-hand corner, but there was quite a few that could have acted as a quote box. So I just decided that it would be perfect to use the Happy Halloween box on Halloween. I've marked work. I then marked that I got a Pet Circle delivery, which is just our dog food. We get it delivered to our house generally on a 3 to 4 week basis. I marked that I was in a frantic rush to finish my work allocation for the month because obviously the 31st is the last day of the month. And then if you start, like if you fall behind and you're working on old work on the first day of the month, the new month, then you're setting yourself up to be behind for the entire month. So I wanted to make sure that I got everything finished for the month. I marked that we had a storm this day. I did some laundry, and then again, I just finished out the day spending some time with my doggos and my husband. On Friday, it was my mother-in-law's birthday. I had a blood test this day. I had work. That night we did go to the local club for dinner with my mother-in-law and her extended family. They actually had some family down from Queensland, so they were here and we did like a family birthday dinner for her. I did end up with a headache, unfortunately. They had some live music playing and it was just too much, like the talking, the band, too much. So I came home and went to bed. Saturday, I slept in. We finished the Menendez Brothers documentary. We started watching Baby Reindeer. Then we had my husband's cousin's engagement. There was actually a surprise wedding, so that was fun. I marked that I broke my shoe, so I was wearing some like wedge heels and got out of the car to walk into the venue and my shoe broke. Luckily, I'd bought some flats with me as a backup. And then I marked that we actually had to do our IVF injections that night in the disabled toilet, which was not very clean. It was smelly. It was great. Then Sunday, I slept most of the day. We watched Baby Reindeer. We went to the people's wedding, like from the night before. We went to their house on Sunday. It was hot and it was humid. We came home for injections and I finished the day spending some time with my boys. That is it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.